I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. Well, today is the day President Barack Obama is at the United Nations chairing the Security Council. Can you imagine? This is the front page story, the cover story of our October 2009 issue of Prophecy in the News magazine that has been printed and is in the mail. You'll be getting it shortly. And if you don't have a magazine, by the way, if you don't subscribe, I urge you to do so today. You can subscribe here on the internet site, or you can call the office at 1-800-475-1111 and subscribe. I hope you will. Now, notice please the title, Chairman Obama. Yeah, instead of President Obama, today it's Chairman Obama. Doesn't that just have sort of a ring to it? He is chairing the United Nations. It's the first time ever that a president or leader of a country has chaired a session of the Security Council. And he is doing so today in order to get the world to agree to lay down their armaments and to disengage. It's called something like Get Rid of Your Nuclear Weapons Day, you know. And Obama, in his comments to the General Assembly the other day, said, I will continue to seek a just and lasting peace between Israel, Palestine, and the Arab world. But there are a few things he said in his remarks that disturb a lot of people. He said, for example, we continue to emphasize that America does not accept the legitimacy of continued Israeli settlements. So trying as hard as he could, he's trying to get Israel to stop building in territory that the Palestinians say we want for our country. But the president did go on to say the time has come to relaunch negotiations without preconditions. Well, as you know, asking Israel to stop the settlements has been a precondition of the Arabs. And as a matter of fact, Obama told Mahmoud Abbas, leader of the Palestinian faction, that he could not get the settlement freeze and promised to keep trying, but that it shouldn't be a condition for talks. It was time to move on, one Palestinian aide to Abbas said. And so the president has decided that Israel is not going to stop building in the settlements, and has decided that if they can move past that and get the two factions to talking, that they can address that problem later. He also said that his goal is clear, two states living side by side in peace and security, a Jewish state of Israel. Now notice when he said the state of Israel, he said a Jewish state of Israel. Well, hey, this was music to Netanyahu's ears, because Benjamin Netanyahu had asked a precondition for negotiations, and that is that the Palestinians recognize Israel as a Jewish state. And so when Obama said the goal is clear, two states living side by side in peace and security, a Jewish state of Israel with true security for all Israelis, that was his way of, shall we say, throwing a bone to the dog. We need to recognize Israel as a Jewish state. And then he went on to say, and a viable, independent Palestinian state with contiguous territory that ends the occupation that began in 1967. Now, there are two problems wrong with that. First of all, he says that the Palestinian state and a Palestinian nation that is going to be carved out of the heartland of Israel needs to have contiguous borders. Whoa, wait a minute. There's Gaza Strip way down in the south. There's Ramallah north of Jerusalem. How are you going to get those two territories connected without taking some Israeli territory for a corridor? And if you link the southwestern part of the Gaza Strip area of Israel with the Ramallah area that runs over to the Jordan River, you're cutting the nation of Israel in half. Now, how can you do something like that? Contiguous borders? Impractical. very impractical. So anyway, the president has said we need to get started with the negotiations. And of course, in all the things that he had